Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we are going to continue to talk about Officer and a Gentleman. That's right, Officer and a Gentleman, that romantic movie. They got all the girls wet out there. Back in 1982 it was. Yeah, Officer and a Gentleman, 1982. It stars Richard Gere as Zach Mayonnaise Mayo and Deborah Winger as Paula the Polak Koriski, I think that's how her name. Who gives a shit? Nobody remembers her last name. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to talk about Officer and Gentleman, okay? So I'm Diego, and what I do here is I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. And obviously, this movie wasn't made for me. It was made for women. When this movie came out, I was a little kid. I didn't give a shit about romantic movies back then, all right? I didn't watch this movie until much later on. I watched it in the 90s, back when I was about to join the Marines. Okay, so I thought I'd prep myself by watching some military movies, which is something I didn't really do before. I had no really interest in watching military movies when I was growing up because, I wasn't in the military. So when I knew I was going to join the Marines, when I knew that day was coming, I decided I'd watch a bunch of military movies just to prepare myself for what lie ahead. And this was one of the movies that I picked because I'd heard so much about it. I think my mom talked about it and stuff. And I remember there was a hit song involved in this movie. So I decided to watch it, and I'm glad I did. This movie did prepare me for a lot of things in the military. In boot camp and basic training that I wasn't expecting. So I give it kudos for that. It helped me out a lot. Not that much maybe, but at least I kind of had an idea of what I was in for, okay? Whereas before, I really didn't, okay? So that movie, it helped me in that sense, okay? But I enjoyed the movie as well because I thought it was a pretty good portrayal of a typical military relationship. Okay, about the type of women that are there, okay, because there's something you got to understand, ladies, okay, for those of you that are out there, okay, for those of you that are considering joining the military, let me tell you something, all right, if you are a straight man, okay, and you're joining the military, okay, your dating option, you're single, okay, your dating options are very, very fucking limited, okay, very limited. No, they didn't tell me that when they recruited me, okay, I had to figure that out on my own, okay, but your dating options are very limited. Okay, either if you're gonna like, be out there dating girls in the military, first of all, you better have a fucking car. Okay, and you're not gonna be able to afford a car on a private's salary. Okay, so it's gonna take some time before you get up in the rank and start getting paid more, where you can fucking afford a car. All right, because dating women costs money. Okay, you got to be able to pay to go to the nightclubs. You got to pay to get the hotel rooms. You got to pay for all the liquor. You got to pay for all this kind of fucking shit. All right, so if you're gonna go dating, okay, it's gonna cost you some money. You're gonna have a car. All right, and just like out in the real world, okay, the girls that are around you, they're gonna go for the higher value guy. All right, so if you're a private, fucking forget about it. All right, they're gonna go for a sergeant. If you're a sergeant, they're gonna go for an officer. If you're an officer, they're gonna go for a fucking commanding officer. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, how pergamy at its best, even in the military base. All right, the women have their own ranks as well, just like the fucking men do. Okay, but if you are gonna date in the military, you're basically limited to three options. Okay, either you're gonna date the daughter of a Marine, okay, the daughter of a high-ranking guy, okay, like me, I was a Marine, I was in the Marine Corps base, okay. If you date the daughter of a Marine, okay, you're asking for trouble because obviously her dad outranks you, okay, and it's very easy for them to find out who the fuck you are. Okay, there's a lot of people that are going to give you up. Okay, if they know that you're dating a high commanding officer's daughter. Okay, yeah, you get in trouble for that shit. Okay, you get put in the break for shit like that. All right, if that commanding officer doesn't like you or something, you see what I mean? Okay, so your options are pretty limited. So there's that. Okay, the second option that you have, there's three altogether, is you can date a Marine yourself. Okay, another military girl. All right, and I've done that as well. Okay, now if you're gonna date another Marine, you got to realize something here, okay? The women that are in the military they don't do the same jobs as the men, okay? My job in the Marine Corps, I was a tank commander, so I was in tanks, okay? So my girlfriend did not work in tanks because tanks is a combat MOS, which means we go out in the field, we got shot at, and we did some shooting back, okay? They don't let women in those jobs, okay? So, no, my girlfriend worked in Motor T, okay? Which means she was in charge of the fucking, the 5-ton trucks and the Jeeps and shit like that, okay? That's what she did. She wasn't in the front line. She was in the rear with the gear. Okay, and I outranked her. Okay, because she wouldn't have dated me if I was below her rank. I was a sergeant. She was a corporal, so I outranked her. Okay, so you can do that. You can date other military girls. Okay, but you got to remember, for every one military girl, there's like fucking 125 military men that are all single, that are all horny. Okay, so the thought of like being in a monogamous relationship with a girl like that is pretty much out the window. Okay, the second you get deployed, she's fucking somebody else if she's not already doing it right now. Okay, so the bottom line is she has a lot more options than you do. Okay, that's the truth. All right, so you got to be prepared for that. You got to understand that. Okay, especially if they're young as well. If they're in their early 20s, fucking forget about it. Okay, forget about it. All right. You're not the only guy she's fucking. All right, so there's that. And then the third option is to date a civilian. Okay, now a civilian, okay, that is not the daughter of a Marine, that only leaves the wife of a Marine. Okay, and I've done that too. All right, you're gonna be dating the wife of a Marine. Okay, now if you do that, obviously there are some dangers involved. Not just from a jealous husband, okay, but also from the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Because if they catch you, it violates the UMC, okay, conduct unbecoming of a Marine, okay, and you can get court-martialed for that, okay. You can be put in the brig for that, okay, if you get caught sleeping with another military man's wife. Okay. Now, having said that, everybody does it. Okay, everybody does it. All right. I hate to burst your bubble. Okay, guys that are out there that are thinking about joining the Marines. Okay, if you're going into the Marine Corps and you're already married, forget about it. You're not married anymore. Okay, you're married to the Corps. You're married to the Marine Corps. Okay, if they wanted you to have a wife, they would have issued you one. That's very fucking true. I'm glad that when I joined the military, I broke up with my girlfriend right before I joined the military, which was probably a very smart decision because there's no way our relationship would have lasted in the military. Fuck no, not at all. Okay, I've seen so many guys get destroyed by this. Okay, but they go to boot camp, they come home, and their wife's already fucking somebody else, and he's getting served divorce papers while he's going to fucking combat training school. I mean, it's just fucking, it's insane. Okay, and that's just the guys that haven't even made it to the fleet yet. Okay, how about the guys that are fucking out there? We come back from fucking Afghanistan. Okay, and there's another fucking dude living in your fucking house, fucking your wife that you did not know about the whole time you were getting fucking shot at. Okay, out in the fucking Delta Corridor. You see what I mean? Okay, yeah, okay. So my point is that it's not easy to date when you're active duty military. It's not easy at all. Okay, I've done all three categories, and let me tell you something. That's pretty much your only options. If you're a guy, those are your only options. Okay, they really are. You got a girlfriend back home? Forget about it. No, you don't. Not anymore. Okay, there's this guy named Jody. That's the code name we use for every guy that's fucking your girlfriend when you're not around. We call him Jody, okay? And Jody's most definitely taking care of your girlfriend, all right? So it's better just to be single while you're active duty, okay? But there are a lot of women out there, okay, that prey on military guys because let's face it, we got a steady paycheck, we got health benefits, we got guaranteed place to live, guaranteed fucking food, and we get moved around from wherever the fucking the military needs us to go. That's where we're gonna go. So if we have a wife with us, she's gonna get to go with us too. She shares in the benefits that we have. If I have insurance, guess what? My wife gets insurance too, and she don't have to fucking do any training. She just gets it because she's married to me, okay? If, the base hospital, and she have a baby costs $50 to have a baby, okay? I mean, it's like, what the fuck, all right? It's a lot of benefits to be married to a Marine. And if you're in the military, you're deployed. If you're in combat, combat MOS, military occupational specialty, if you're in a combat MOS, you're deployed. You're out there fucking fighting Saddam Hussein, or fucking Bin Laden, or whoever the fuck you're fighting this week. Okay, and while you're over there, your wife's gonna be fucking somebody else. Okay, that's just the way it goes. All right, and that's the truth. All right. Now they don't tell you that when you go to the recruiter station. When they're trying to recruit you in the fucking high school. Okay, but it's the truth. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Better if you want to go fucking fight, go fight. Okay, you want to go serve your country, go serve your fucking country, okay? Now, I don't know about the military today because it's been a long time since I went in. Today, I'm pretty sure that, if you're not trans, they're going to get your ass kicked. I'm pretty sure the drill instructors have to use the correct pronouns when addressing you, that kind of thing, and as long as you identify as a woman, you're allowed to go into the female bathroom. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it now, okay? Which is good because when that war with China eventually comes, that's how we'll defeat them. We'll defeat them with our fucking virtue signaling, That way we'll, we can stay the #1 country in the world, You see what I mean? That's what we do. When those Chinese, when we go to war with China, because they outnumber us, okay? But when that happens, you know, and they start attacking us, what we'll do is we'll videotape them, you know, not using the correct pronouns, and then we'll post it online, and we'll fucking cancel the whole fucking country just like that, man. The war's over. Fuck yeah, try getting a fucking job now, you fucking Chinese motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. See, that's how we're gonna win now, okay? Because that's the Biden way. Okay, anyway, moving right along. Try not to get political, okay? Moving right along. So I have experience in this area here that we're going to talk about with Officer and Gentleman, okay? I know what it's like, okay? I know what it's like to go to training, okay, and have those girls there, okay? We had a word for those girls that showed up, okay? And I'll get to that. We call them cycle sluts, okay? Cycle sluts, okay? So anyway, let's move along with the movie review, okay? Now, just get this real quickly out of the way, okay? I'm going to be completely honest here. I do not lie. I do not censor myself, okay? I'm going to give you a fucking straight up dose of fucking truth, okay? The real question is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Okay, that's the real question you ask. Because I'm not gonna lie here. I got nothing to gain about bullshitting you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth. Okay, whether you like it or not. Okay, so if you can't handle the truth, get the fuck out. All right, I am not gonna bullshit you. Okay, I only speak the truth when I make these videos. Okay, and this is an honest to God, straight man's point of view of Officer and Gentleman, coming from a veteran who's actually been in these situations before. Okay, so let's talk about the movie. Okay, so the main character, like I said, Zach Mayo. The movie begins in Seattle, Washington. Okay, Zach is in this room. I don't know if it's an apartment or a hotel room. I'm not really sure. I think it might be an apartment. Okay, it's his dad's apartment. Now, Zach Mayo is in his late 20s. I think he's like 26 or 27 years old. Okay, he's just got dressed. Okay. I guess he just graduated college, and his dad is there. His dad is played by Robert Loggia. He plays a character named Byron Mayo. Okay, and Byron is still in bed naked with these two fucking prostitutes that they both fucked last night. Okay, but Zach got up first. He got dressed. And he's about to leave. All right, so he goes into the fucking he goes into the bathroom. I guess to fucking rub some water in his fucking his mullet that he's got, you know, he's 1981 or 1982. Okay, he's got his wife beater on, his fucking khaki pants and shit. You know, he's got the long hair, you know, feathered in the back. You know, the Richard Gere, you know, look. It's just funny looking at it. It's a time capsule. So he looks himself in the mirror and he starts reflecting. So we get a background of Zach Mayo. Zach Mayo, it shows him arriving in the Philippines when he's a kid. I'm guessing he's probably 11 years old or something like that. Maybe 10 or something around that age. Maybe 12. Maybe 12, okay? But he arrives in the Philippines. You see him walking at the airport, okay? There's an Asian stewardess walking with him. They're in the Philippines, okay? And he gets called out by his dad Byron, okay? It's Robert Loggia. It's him, but it's supposed to be him younger, but he looks the exact same as he does fucking, 20 years later. Anyway, he's there, okay? He catches his son, okay? Now, Byron Mayo is an ensign in the Navy, okay? So it means he's an enlisted man in the Navy. He's got the fucking Popeye outfit on, whatever. He introduces himself to his son. I guess they've never met before, okay? And he takes him in there. So while they're in the Filipino bus, I guess they're going back to, I guess, where his apartment is. Clearly, he's stationed in the Philippines. He lives on a Navy base there in the Philippines, okay? And he tells them that he's sorry. That he's sorry about what happened to his mom. They haven't explained what happened to Zach's mom yet. But he tells them, hey kid, I'm sorry about what happened to your mom. And he's also sorry that he didn't pick up his phone. He didn't answer any of because Zach apparently had been calling him for 4 months, and he never answered his phone during that time. He tries to explain, well, I'm sorry, I was gone. I was at sea. Okay, I was deployed. Okay, I was at sea. That's why I haven't been able to, pick up the phone. And he's like, but I've been calling you for 4 months. He's like, well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, kid. I was gone for 4 months. And he's full of shit. He's full of shit. All right. This guy just doesn't want to fucking take care of his son. All right. Clearly, this is a case of a guy. Now, first of all, he's stationed in the Philippines, so that should tell you something. Okay. I've never been to the Philippines, but I do know some Navy guys. We call them squids. I do know some squids. Okay, that have been in the Philippines. Okay, and there's a lot of raunchy shit that goes on over there. Okay, like in Bangkok and stuff. Oh my, and Phuket. Yeah. Yeah, there's some raunchy shit that goes on over there, and we're talking AIDS for fucking days, all right? I mean, their whole industry over there is based on American military, okay? It's all fucking prostitution, okay? And they're all trying to fucking pick up fucking American to fucking take them back to the United States, okay? They're also in the same racket, okay? Well, obviously, it's mostly the biggest industry there is prostitution, mostly for American sailors. That's true. It was true back then. I'm sure it's true today, okay? but I have met some squids, that told me about it, and one guy I can think of right now. Remember, I was working at this nightclub, and this other guy was working with me, and he was a manager, I was a manager. He was a brand new guy, so we got kind of started talking, got to know each other and stuff. I mentioned I'd been in the military. He mentioned I was in the Marines, he was in the Navy, and he told me about the Philippines. He told me when he was there, about the prostitutes that are there and stuff, and he was bragging to me about how he had sex with like a 12-year-old girl. Yeah, I guess that's legal over there. Like, what the? And I remember I liked the guy a lot until he told me that, and then I was just like, what the fuck? He's like, hey, don't knock it till you've tried it. I was like, no. That's just like, what the fuck, man? Like I couldn't believe he said something. I guess that's normal over there. But well, anyway, so this guy Byron Mayo is like that type of guy. Okay, he's just a fuck boy. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He wants to fuck girls. He wants to get drunk. And he doesn't want to be a dad. Doesn't want to be a husband. Nothing like that. That's not who he is. Okay. He sure as fuck doesn't fucking want to take care of this kid that got fucking sent there. Now, he had to take this kid on against his will. The Navy fucking told him, hey, you are his father, you are his legal father and all that, okay? And his mother's dead, so you have to fucking take him in, okay? We can't put him in an orphanage when his father's still alive, okay? And making an income. So the Navy made him take his son on. He didn't want to do it himself, all right? Okay, so like I said, he tells me he was out to sea. Okay, so he takes him back to his apartment, I guess, where he's living, and there's 2 hookers living there. Okay, 2 Asian hookers that are living there. Okay, now this kid's like, what, 11, 12 years old, and now here he meets these half-naked women who obviously his dad is fucking them. That's going to be his grow-up experience. Okay, now just imagine that. Now later on in the movie, okay, we're going to find out some stuff about Zach Mayo as an adult. Okay, he's very confident with women. Okay, he has no problem talking to women at all. Okay, he doesn't freeze at all. He doesn't choke in front of a pretty girl. He can easily talk to women. He can flirt with them easily. He has an excellent banter with women. He knows how to joke with them. He knows how to do the rapport is great. Okay, Zach Mayo has no problem talking to women. Okay, and the reason he has no problem talking to women is because he was fucking girls since he was 12 years old. Okay, he grew up with prostitutes, for Christ's sake. Okay. Now, I mentioned in the last video that Zach Mayo is a high-value man. Well, he is a high-value man, okay? The reason that Deborah Winger's character, Paula, jumps through all these hoops to win over Zach is because Zach is different than most men, okay? Zach, not only is he very good in bed, which you can tell from the scene here. Women don't typically fall in love with guys that aren't good in bed, okay? And also because he's so confident around women. He's not afraid to piss them off. He's not afraid to be himself in front of a woman, even if that means pissing her off or hurting her feelings. He doesn't care. He's an alpha male, okay? And the way he got that way was because he was basically raised by fucking hookers, okay? The reason he's so good in bed is because he's been fucking girls since he was fucking 11, 12 years old. All right? Anybody could be good, okay? By the time he's 26, this guy's a fucking master of the bedroom. Okay? These girls that he's been fucking taught him about sex. They taught him how to eat out. They taught him how to fucking, do it. They taught him how to make girls come. They taught him everything. So he comes to fucking, when he's an adult, he's got fucking sexual superpowers, for Christ's sake. No wonder women want to be with him so bad. You see what I mean? Okay, because of the way he was raised. Now, obviously, this movie's going to try to play it in a bad way. Like, he shouldn't have been raised that way. His dad should have taught him about responsibility, should have taught him about being a good man, but his dad wasn't those things. His dad taught him, the only thing he could teach him was how to fuck a bunch of women, okay? How to fuck a bunch of prostitutes, okay? So there's that. Not a good father-son relationship, okay? But at least he learned something in the Philippines, okay? So that's the reason he's so confident with women, is because he's so used to it by now. Okay, he's probably, 27, 26 or something, 27 years old by now in this movie. So he's used to fucking women. He's used to fucking making them come. He's used to dating. He's used to he's probably had 4 ways, 6 ways, whatever, with lots and lots of women, okay? So he has no problems in that area, okay? His problems have more to do with his character, okay, what kind of person he wants to be, okay? He had no real role model growing up. His mom died when he was a kid, and his dad's a fucking asshole, okay? And he picked up a lot of his dad's qualities, as we'll find out later on, all right? But a lot of people wonder what the fuck makes Richard Gere so special, okay? Some women call him gorgeous, okay, but there's better looking guys than Richard Gere in this movie. But what made him so special that all these women fell in love with him? Well, that's why. Because of the way he carries himself. Okay, he projects masculinity, he projects self-confidence, because he is self-confident, because he's fucking good, he's a good fucking lay. And he knows he's a good fucking lay. That's why he's no problem with talking to women, okay? You see what I mean? And this is how he became a good lace, because he was raised by fucking prostitutes, okay? Some guys have all the fucking luck. The rest of us, we have to learn the hard way, you know, and not him. Anyway, moving right along, okay? So Byron tells Zach that he's on deployment for 3 weeks. He tells little Zach, his dad, Byron, tells him that he's not going to be a good dad to him, and that it's a bad idea that he came over all the way to the Philippines. He says I'm going to ship 3 weeks out of the month, okay? And when I'm back in town, I don't have time for none of this fucking daddy fucking bullshit, okay? This daddy crap, okay? That's not who I am, okay? That's what he tells him. He's like, you don't get it, kid. I'm too old for this fucking, I'm too old for this shit, no matter what the fucking Navy says, okay? This is no place to bring up a kid, not here in the fucking Philippines. You know? He's like I told you on the phone, okay? You would have been better off in that state school back in Virginia. Okay? And of course, you know, little fucking Zach is like, I'm never going back there. They treat me like shit. And then he tells them, because he's drunk, of course. Byron's obviously drinking beer the whole time he's talking to his son. He's like, well, maybe that's not your decision to make. You know, so basically he's telling me, I don't fucking want to raise you, kid. You were put on me. Okay? I'm not a fucking daddy. I'm not a fucking father. I'm not a fucking husband. I'm not none of this shit. Okay? You know, you're crowding me here. Okay? I'm a fucking middle-aged adolescent, okay, and you're getting in the way of that. You know, basically is what he's telling me, which is not a good way to bring up a kid, man. Talk about doing some psychological damage to your son, you know. Hey, but you gotta take the good with the bad, right? Okay. So Byron's like, you know, you don't get it, kid. I'm too old for this shit, okay? And Zach says, I'm never going back there. They treat me like shit. He goes, well, maybe that's not your decision to make. You know? And then he looks at little Zach and goes like, God damn it, don't look at me that way. What happened to your mom had nothing to do with me. You know. And you know, this actually brings back memories for me. You know, this father and son moment right here. I remember, you know, my dad and I having a very similar conversation like this. Yeah, I remember. Now that I think about it, now that I've seen the movie, I remember my dad and I having a similar conversation like this, and it was last year. All right, but we're not talking about me, right? Okay, moving right along. So Zach's like, yes, you did. Yes, it is your fault, Dad. You promised you would come back. He's like, that's a goddamn female lie. That's a lie. I never said that. Yes, you did, Dad. I found your letters. I read them after she did it. You said you loved her, that you would come back for us, and she believed you. You're the liar. Yeah, well, you know, he's a little kid. How the fuck did he get a hold of those letters? And why the fuck did the mom save those letters? I don't know, but apparently, his dad is a piece of shit. We already established that, okay? And I think his son is starting to realize that. Well, kid, if you knew that, you're old enough to know, why would you want to live with him? Why would you want to live with him? This guy doesn't want you, you know? Now, I understand, you know, being raised in an orphanage. Yeah, I guess that's got to be, I don't know which is worse. Living with a dad who doesn't give two shits about you, you know, and doesn't want to fucking take care of you, who doesn't love you, or being raised in an orphanage, and who the fuck knows what happens in there, you know? I don't know which is worse, so I feel bad for this kid. I feel bad for Zach Mayo. Man, that's kind of a shitty childhood, you know? Anyway, in the present now we're back to 1982. Okay, Zach gets ready to leave. Okay, he gets ready to leave, say goodbye to his dad. His dad's waking up now. Of course, his dad's all fucked up and hungover from last night. You know, while Zach's in the bathroom, his dad goes in the bathroom and throws up in the fucking toilet. That's the first thing he does. He throws up in the toilet, all right? You know, okay. And while his dad's doing that, you know, Zach takes a moment to remember some more things about growing up in the Philippines, all right? He remembers walking down the street there, looking at everything, looking at the tattoo parlors, all the prostitutes that are on the street that are propositioning him, the open markets for all the food and the vegetables that are there. You know, it's kind of a weird place. He befriends a couple of other kids that are, look around his age, but some Asian kids, boys, you know, so they're all walking down the street together. You know, it's like 3 Asian boys and him, you know. Apparently he made some new friends. Well, what they do is they trick him into going into this alley, okay? And when they're there, they basically roll him, okay? They fucking tell him, give me your money, but you know, that kind of shit, all right? He's like, you know, I don't have any money, whatever, you know, and so they beat the shit out of him, and they use martial arts to do it. They use Muay Thai, okay? Well, in this case, they use karate, okay? But they beat the shit out of little Zach, all right? And they roll him, they take his money, Okay, so then they leave him there on the street, fucking, covered in blood, crying his eyes out in pain. He was begging them to leave him alone. And yeah, and they rolled him. They beat the shit out of him. And yeah, that's happened to me too. But it happened here in America. Hey, trust me, there's not one of you out there wanted to be me in fucking junior high. Okay, I used to have to run home to get away from bullies. All right, this shit fucking sucks. I know. I feel his pain. I said in the last video, I know a lot about Zach Mayo. I relate to him fucking completely. Okay, this shit used to happen to me, but it happened to me here in fucking America. Okay, not in the fucking Philippines. But yeah, I understand. I understand what it's like. Okay, because bullies, man, that's the problem with bullies. They never fight fair. They don't ever fucking fight fair. No, it's always a gang of them against you. Okay? Not one of them is going to fucking fight you one-on-one. Even if they could win, they're not going to do it. It's funner when everybody gets involved and everyone gets a shot at you, It's fucking bullshit, It's bullshit. But anyway, yeah. So that happens to him. He gets rolled. He gets his ass kicked, okay? And I've been there too. I've been on that floor. I know what he's feeling right there, okay? So like, yeah, so he gets his ass kicked, okay? So now we're back in the present, okay? And his dad, Byron, has just finished throwing up in the fucking toilet, okay? And he tells Zach about what a wild night they just had last night. Hey, man, he's like that time. Remember, he's like, hey, son, remember that time we banged those 3 stewardesses back in Manila? So yeah, so they've been doing this for a while. They've been riding the train on a lot of fucking prostitutes for a very long time. Okay, what a way to grow up, right? He's like, I bet you never got it on like that back in that fucking sissy college you just graduated from. And then he drinks some more beer because the best way to get rid of a hangover is to drink some more, Okay, and Zach tells him, Zach decides to tell him right before he leaves that he's joining the Navy. He's like, I'm going to blow your mind. Dad, you ain't going to see this coming. I just joined the Navy. He's like, what? What do you mean you joined the Navy? You going to join the Navy? He's like, yeah, I did. He's like, he's going to OCS, he's going to Aviator Officer Candidate School, okay, in Fort Wood. Okay, he says, I'm going to fly jets, Dad. I'm gonna learn to fly jets, okay? And he's like, hey, Dad, if you're, it's only a couple hours from here, if you ever want to come over and visit me, and his dad's like, I'm not here, Zach. What the hell's wrong with you, man? You know what I'm like? He's like, what's so funny? He's like, what's so funny? You're funny. That's what's funny. He's like, that's being a fighter jet pilot. That's like saying you're gonna run for president, for goddamn president. He's like, he's like, look at yourself. Officers don't have tattoos. And he's got this big fucking tattoo of a phoenix on his arm there. Okay. Officers don't have tattoos. They don't want to see you do something. I'm actually trying to help you here, son. I don't want to see you do something you're going to regret. You got to give up 6 fucking years of your life to the Navy if you want to fly jets. 6 fucking years. Officers, they're all a bunch of uptight assholes. They're not like us, Zach. They're not like us. They're not like you and me. And Zach's like, well, you know what, Dad? It sounds like you're afraid that someday you might just have to salute me. And it kind of sounds that way, Dad. No, I don't. I'm trying to help you. So I know. Well, that's the way it sounds to me, Dad. Anyway, he packs up his shit and and then he looks at the 2 fucking hookers that are still in bed. He's like, yeah, thanks for the graduation present, but, and then he fucking leaves, all right? And his dad's, come on, Zach, don't go away, man. Come on, Zach. Of course, his dad's topless and just in his fucking underwear or whatever, So Zach leaves the fucking apartment, all right? He goes downstairs. We see him grab this big bandage, and he puts it over his tattoo to cover it up, okay? And then he puts on his fucking, he puts on his motorcycle jacket and he goes over to his motorcycle, okay, his motorcycle is a 1979 Triumph Bonneville T140E, whatever the fuck that is. Bonneville. Bonneville, that means it was made by Pontiac, all right? So that's all I know, all right? I know something about cars. I don't know too much about motorcycles, all right? Anyway, so that's going on here. He gets on the motorcycle, and then we see in big fucking letters there, Officer and Gentleman. The title of the movie is right there. And then we start hearing the orchestra version of Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong by Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes. All right. Anyway, so he gets on his motorcycle, boom, and he rides over to the fucking the place, to Port Rainier. That's where he's checking into, okay? He arrives there. It's the Naval Air Basic Training Command, okay, and pre-flight school. Okay, so that's where he's going to go to basic training. Now, I was in the Marines, we called it boot camp, okay, or we call it recruit training, okay. He's in OCS, okay, so it's called Officer Candidate School, okay. That's what they call it for when you're an officer, right? To be an officer, that means that you had to, in order to become an officer, you have to have graduated college first before you can join, all right? Anyway, so he goes in there, okay, and while he's driving his motorcycle in there, he's looking at the drill, okay, you can see all the candidates there being drilled, okay, it means being marched, okay, by some fucking Marine, okay, I guess the instructors are Marines. Well, you know what, like I said, I was in the Marines, all right, and the Marine Corps is a department of the Navy. We are the men's department. It's true. Fucking squids. Hey, they don't like us either, man. They don't like us either. Okay, but yeah, we're basically a part of the Navy. The Marine Corps was a part of the Navy. So if I went somewhere, the Navy went with me. Okay, they didn't go with me in the fucking. Well, the corpsmen did, but other than the corpsmen, you know, the medics is, you know, what they're called in the Army. But in the Marine Corps, we call them corpsmen. Okay, those guys went with us to the front lines, but everyone else stayed back. You know, they stayed back in the ship. You know, fucking the women. Anyway, moving right along. So he's looking around there, okay? And this is the first time he goes over to that area where all the new recruits are, all the new candidates are there, okay? And they're all fucking, you know, right out of college, whatever those popular the fads were back then. If you look at their hair, is all fucking mulleted and feathered. They're wearing fucking polo shirts that are too fucking tight and jeans, you know, and they just look fucking stupid. Basically, the way the way people looked in the fucking early '80s, okay? Just ridiculous. Think Fast Times at Ridgemont High, okay? The fashions are so fucking stupid. I'm glad I was a little kid and I have to fucking look like that as a fucking adult, all right, because I might have, okay. We're introduced to a new character, okay, Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley, who's going to be their drill instructor, okay. Now the drill instructor is the platoon sergeant, okay. His job is basically to herd the whole class from class to class. He marches them everywhere. Nobody walks anywhere. You get marched. You get marched from the classroom to the fucking chow hall where you eat, to the fucking to wherever the fuck you're gonna do your training that day. He marches you everywhere. He's basically your mom and dad. He tells you what the fuck to do, okay. You don't ever walk anywhere. You get marched, okay, and we call it drill, okay. He's a gunnery sergeant, means he's high ranked up there, okay. He knows how to fucking drill. He's got the drill instructor cap on, okay. So this guy used to fucking kill recruits, probably at fucking at MCRD San Diego, which is where I went, okay. So yeah, he's probably used to fucking killing recruits, okay. So he arrives there, he's spit polished, he's all sharp, he's got creases, you know, everywhere on his fucking uniform. His uniform is tight on him, he's got the tie, you know, he's got the tie clasp, you know, the brim, you know, the fucking, the chloroform fucking shoes, you know, the shoes that are fucking like mirrors, you look at them, I mean, he's got it all, he's got some fucking stick. I don't know what the fuck he's doing with the stick. I never saw that before when I was in the Marine Corps. But he goes up there and he fucking tells everyone, hey, get attention, you know, stand on the line, you slimy worms. You know, basically Full Metal Jacket, but 5 years before Full Metal Jacket. Now, just so you know, Full Metal Jacket also had a drill instructor in there. Okay, that drill instructor was played by R. Lee Ermey, who back in the 60s was a real life drill instructor in the Marine Corps. Now, he was actually hired to play this character, Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley, for this movie, but the director decided to go with Louis Gossett Jr. instead to play this character. So R. Lee Ermey, instead of playing the character, he coached Louis Gossett Jr. on how to play this character in the movie. So he worked in the back behind the camera in this movie. 5 years later on, he will play the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket. But he worked behind the scenes in this movie, and I'm glad he did. I think Louis Gossett Jr. did an incredible job in this movie, and he did win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor 1982 for this movie. Okay, so yeah, so he got his Academy Award for his portrayal of Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley. And let me tell you something, this guy was a fucking awesome. I absolutely loved his character in this movie. I didn't like being a recruit and having guys like him, you know, basically fucking kill me when I was going boot camp, okay? Because I knew a lot of fucking Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foleys, okay, when I was in boot camp, okay? And it fucking sucked, and I never want to go through that again, all right? But you know, he did do a very good job in this scene here. So we're introduced to him, who he will be a major character in this movie. All right, and like I said, he won an Academy Award. Okay, so I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Officer and Gentleman. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.